Hi, everybody. I'm Carlos Greer, and I am here with the man responsible for Beyonce, Solange, and Destiny's Child. You know what I'm talking about, the one and only Mr. Mathew Knowles. Matthew, Happy New Year and happy birthday.
Well, that's a lot of happy, Carlos. Yeah, today is my birthday. We had a wonderful New Year. You know, this whole week, Blue Ivy, her birthday, my former wife Tina, her birthday this week. So it's a lot of birthdays in this 7 day window.
Well, how's the year treating you so far, and how are you going to celebrate?
Well, I'm going to celebrate just living my passion, doing the things that I'm passionate about. And I always say, when you live your passion, you never work a day in your life. And so I'm really excited about this opportunity to partner with Fever, Candlelight, and get back. I feel I'm back in the thrust of the fire of the music industry, and touring is a big part of it, and just the creation of the show and every aspect that goes on, it comes along with it. The marketing is quite exciting.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it because that's why you're here today. Destiny's Child iconic reimagined tribute tour. It's kicking off this month, and it's a tribute show with the girls' songs, all of them reimagined. Well, some of them reimagined, but there's going to be so much more than just that. What can the audience expect from this show, and tell us what exactly it is?
I think it's once the moment you walk into the room and you see the ambiance and 3,000 plus candles are surrounding a stage and these amazing quintet of musicians, violinists. It starts there, but also it's just the sophistication of it all. You know, people are really dressed, chic, elegance. You know, that comes with it. And it just gives you an opportunity to reimagine the Destiny's Child songs in a different way. And people I've gone to some of Beyonce's shows. I mean, I've seen people get engaged. I've seen people cry. It's a really moment, an experience for many people. And it's a different experience. So that's why I named it Reimagined, because I wanted people to go back and tie in the old days and when they heard Destiny's Child the first time and where they were and what was going on in their lives and a feeling that comes along with this. So that's what the Destiny's Child iconic reimagined tribute is. And the ladies deserve a tribute. Being the number one female group in the history of music, having the opportunity, if Williams wins the Grammy, they are alongside the Beatles as the only group that every member has won a Grammy. So they're still, it's not over for Destiny's Child.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a real celebration, and it's so deserving. But let's talk about the beginning, because you really did whatever it took to make sure that Destiny's Child was successful. So briefly walk us through what that journey looked like.
Yeah, I always say it's not the destination, it is the journey. And the journey started back in 1990, when Beyonce was like 10 years old. And there was a couple of new managers in Houston that wanted to put it together, young in vogue. That was the initial thoughts. And so they came to our hair salon and they said, hey, we like Beyonce to be the lead and putting together this new group. I played a role of just a father dropping off his kid to practice, to rehearsal, and go play basketball on the Saturday and then go pick her up. That's about the extent of it. But they lost on Star Search. And when they lost on Star Search, I asked the host, what does a dad do? They're crying. I don't understand why they competed against a rock band and these guys are in their 40s and these kids are like 10 or 11 years old. And he says, for some reason, everyone who wins consistently on Star Search but lose the first time go on to be successful. And he started naming Justin Timberlake, Usher, Alanis Morissette, Aaliyah, Boys to Men, Britney Spears. He kept going on and on. I said, well, why? He says they go back and they change. They make changes in the organization, sometimes the members. And they put together a totally different strategy. And so I went back to school to take music management, artist development, production, went to every seminar that I could to begin my learning growth. And we went a totally different direction with the band.
Well, Matthew, a lot of people have talent, but Destiny's Child, they really put in the work as kids, as you mentioned. What was it about their work ethic and talent that made you want to go back, quit your job, go back to school, learn the music business, and focus on making it happen for them?
Because Carlos, I could see that if we aligned the right team, if we got the right songs, the ladies had the passion, as you just said, and the talent to be the very best at it. And what comes along with passion or work ethic. So they had the work ethic. So it was just, and they were young. We have to remember they were young. We're talking teenagers, young teenagers. So we had to put together structure. One of the things that made Destiny's Child the best and different, we used to practice failure. And people literally practice failure. And what do I mean by that? Yeah. They didn't know when the lights were going to go off, when the sound would go off, or a hill might break, all the things that will happen. We practiced that.
So what do you mean when you say you practice it? Were you like tricking them, or was it just like something that happened, spontaneously that they didn't know was going to occur? You were just preparing them for.
Yeah, it was planned by management, but they didn't know once they got on the stage that the sound was going to get muted at a certain point. So we did that so they wouldn't panic, because those things happen. So when they happened, they had the a cappella song already rehearsed and practiced, and instead of like most artists panic and like looking around like deer headlights in their eyes, they went straight to a cappella song that they were prepared for. You can watch a BET performance and you can see Michelle slipped. Well, they were prepared, and they actually almost made a routine with it. You can actually see that happen with Beyoncé and Solange on Beyoncé's performance, where Solange slipped and then they made a routine out of it. Those things you practice when you're the very best.
Right. So that's how you can fall down and easily get back up, practicing failure.
Yes. Right. I have a whole thing about practicing failure.
So, this show, it's not just singing. It's featuring your personal stories about making them Destiny's Child and working with your daughter and the band. What's your favorite Destiny's Child memory?
I have many. My favorite memory, it would be when they performed No, No, No for the first time with Wyclef and Outlins. And it was their first, I believe it was on MTV, and it was just to look in their eyes and to see that tremendous excitement that, boy, we're on the main stage with MTV, and it's people around the world are watching us. That was a real moment to see that, to see all the hard work and all the failures, because people don't know Destiny's Child got dropped by Elektra Records. Yeah. They lost on Star Search. They had a number of failures. Mm-hmm. And to see them work through that and to have that moment, it was a real exciting thing to see. I still, to this day, when Beyonce performs, I know when she gets in a zone, it's just a certain look that she's fierce, and you just know. I know, the fans would know, but I say it every time I see her. Oh, okay, she's in her zone now.
So she's still Sasha Fierce on stage. She still taps into it.
Well, that happened when she was a kid, 8 years old, and did her first performance in competition against some older junior high school kids. And we're sitting there waiting for her to perform, and she looked at me and her mom and said, "Hey, I can't wait to get up there and perform, because I want to win my trophy and my $100. And as a dad, I'm trying to curtail her expectations. I'm saying, just do your best. These are older kids. But when she got on that stage, Carlos, we didn't know who she was. I mean, that's when Sasha Fierce came out for the first time, because once he got on that stage, it was a different Beyonce that we didn't even know, and we were her parents.
Wow, 8 years old.
Yes.
Wow. All right, so you're here with us at Page Six, and you know we love a good scoop, Mathew, and people feel like they know everything about the Destiny's Child story. So tell us something we don't know.
Not only do you not know it, but I hope you have an opportunity to show the photo. I would love for people to see that in 1992, Girls Time, which became Destiny's Child, had 11 members.
Mm.
So this notion of change in Destiny's Child has always happened.
Right. So how did 11 become 3?
Just transition, time, circumstances, situations that happen. At one point, the previous managers were trying to get, believe it or not, Carlos, a record deal with dancers.
With just
They had
dancers?
four lead singers, 4 dancers, and they were trying to get a record deal with all 8 of them. At one point, it was the 8, and then there was a rapper.
That was big back then.
There was a rapper, then
Yeah.
it was a male rapper, then it became a female rapper. So now we had 10. Even my niece at one time was in the band, in the group. So it's just kept over the years, just transitioning and getting a better understanding of the marketplace.
Right.
But Destiny's Child has constantly been kind of like Menudo, I think it's called, Menudo, the boy band,
Menudo, yes.
that made a number of changes. So that's been constant with Destiny's Child.
Yeah. Did you ever in a million years think that they would become one of the biggest girl groups all time, which of course helped launch one of the biggest artists of our time, your daughter Beyonce?
Well, I think, Carlos, if you really dig deep into our history, you'll know that I was the #1 sales rep in the medical division of Xerox in the world for 3 out of 4 years, the best in the world. I hope that when you live in that environment where someone's the best in the world, then you understand what's required to be the best, what work ethics are required to be the very best in the world. So everything that I do and Beyonce and Solange, their level of expectation is not to be good at it, not to be the best in America, but to have the most Grammys in the world, to Destiny's Child to be the #1 female group in the world, to be the #1 sales rep in the world. You kind of hear this consistency that I'm saying?
Yeah, so you weren't surprised. It's built in. You cultivated it.
Yeah, I was, for me, I wasn't surprised. That was our goal.
Yeah.
You know, had that not been a goal, then it would have been a surprise, right?
Right.
But because it was a goal, it was just we reached our goal.
Destiny's Child iconic reimagined tribute kicks off tonight, January 9th, in their hometown of Houston.